Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new episode. And today's topic, I feel like it's going to be beneficial to a lot of you healers out there. And of course, with me, as you guys can see, we've got a different setup because I have more than one guest for the very first time on the podcast. So these guests, they are not their first time. They've been here on Head Over Heels before individually, but this time I feel like it's a little reunion. Guys, we have Peter from Mr. Money and Suyin. Hi guys.
Hello.
Hey.
It's been a while.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
No, thanks for saying yes, for coming on
Yeah, of
here
course.
because I feel like if there is anyone I want to talk about this topic in particular, you guys are the best people to go to. Like, even if it's offline, I need advice. You guys are the people I will call.
Shut.
Peter, remember I called you before I bought my house?
Oh, yeah.
And then you told me about some insurance thing.
Yeah, I told you about on the
and-
insurance thing and asked you to negotiate for a better rate.
Correct,
for
and I
your
did.
interest.
And I did.
Right.
So if I didn't call you that day, I feel like I will get conned and like just maybe not get a very good deal, or probably not the most ideal deal for myself. And it's been 2 years since I got my house, so thank you.
Right, no problem, man.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's do a quick catch up. How have you guys been? Okay, maybe Suyin want to go first?
Yeah, it's been I think 2 years since I last saw you.
Since you've been on the pod, yeah.
Since I was on the podcast. At that time we were dating different people.
Mhm.
Different story now.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay, so but you're a missers now.
Yeah. So I had a breakup, I had a dating phase, and then I got married and yeah, just
Wait,
Doing life.
how recent ago were you married again?
like now it's November. I
Yeah.
got married in July.
Girl, congratulations.
Thanks
She's
so much.
glowing, isn't she?
Oh, yeah, look at diamond there, man.
Oh my god, I didn't notice.
Oh, it's a pigeon egg.
No.
No, I also noticed that I think on social media you used to be very, very more active. But I feel
Yeah.
like what do
Yeah.
you think have changed in the recent year since we met?
I guess like when I was very active, I was single as well. So I was very reflective on life. Every day I had a lot of time
Yeah.
and a lot to do with like sharing my experience of like being single, dating around. Well, I didn't date around that much, but just living life
yeah.
and being my own person. And then as I get into a relationship and marriage, I get even more private. So I guess that's the transition.
Yeah.
And then every once in a while, I'll emerge. I'll be like, oh, guys, this is interesting, or this is what's going on.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
feel like there's just so much value in for your followers to follow you because I feel like you're sharing exactly what you're going through. And that's very real. Like right now, I noticed that you've been sharing a lot of couple finances.
Yeah, because I'm trying
stuff.
to figure it out.
Yeah, and I think that's so reflective of your own life, and it's so good. That's why I got you here. But Peter, what about you? Now, you out of all of us, you've been married the longest.
Yeah.
So-
really long.
That's
Yeah.
right. Now it's I believe it's my 8th year in the marriage.
Wow.
7 year, entering my 8th.
Nice.
Yeah, so I have 2 kids right now. I think the last time I was on your pod, probably my second one was on the way.
Really?
So my second one is now 3 years old, so
Wow.
6 and 3.
that has been.
Yeah. Aside from that, the team has also grown.
Yeah.
Business nowadays we have more brands. We run multiple channels right now, and we have about 15 people in our team. So everything is working, I believe, according to the plan. Yeah, but I always think that things can be better, right?
No, I feel like you're the kind of person based on, our first conversation and then we've been friends ever since, obviously. In between the episodes, we meet in real life, we catch up from time to time, and you're always working on something new. And I feel like you're such a go-getter, such a hustler as well.
Yeah, I think so. You
cannot
quite
stop one, right?
hustler, Cannot stop one.
Cannot
A bit
stop,
workaholic. A bit workaholic. A little bit too much sometimes, I would say.
Well, sometimes it's for the better because I think if not now, when? You want to work when you're 18? No, right? We work when
Yeah,
we're
that's
still
right.
young. lah.
That's what I always tell myself. Yeah. Until you have kids and you start to realize that maybe it's time to spend a little bit more time with your children.
Yeah. So, okay. Everyone on this table have been in relationships before. The both of you now are married. And I feel like it's time for us to talk about finances in relationship. And I feel like it's something that is not the easiest to navigate because why? When I ask our healers, why is it so hard to talk about money in relationship? A lot of them say that it's such a sensitive topic to talk about my partner. And a lot of the times, if it's a woman, maybe the guy is not financially stable yet, maybe they're in their early 20s, which I'm sure all of us have experienced before. It's hard to bring this up, right? And some of them say that, oh, he's earning way more than me. I feel like I'm going to take advantage of him if I start this topic. Actually, I don't understand what that means. Start taking advantage.
What happens in between is like between like that conversation and then taking advantage. I want to know the fill in the blanks, right?
Yeah. No, I feel like a lot of the times money in general is just hard to talk about.
Yeah.
Right. So why do you think it's so hard to talk about money in relationships? Did you guys experience that before?
Yeah, I think in my previous relationship, it wasn't as easy to talk about money because I feel like I'm very comfortable with talking about money. It's not taboo or anything like that. And I think it also can come across as rude in an Asian culture.
Yeah,
They're like,
invasion of privacy
yeah.
almost.
You know, you become one of those auntie uncles who be like, hey, how much you earn now? You know, like it's a bit off-putting. But yeah, I guess it just depends on what kind of belief system you have around money. Do you believe you're good with money? Like in a couple, if someone doesn't believe they're good with money, then it's something that they probably want to avoid talking about.
Yeah.
Because then you don't feel so bad about your current situation. Maybe.
What about you, Peter?
I think because money is one of those things that is truly intertwined with your ego, your viewpoints in life. So sometimes talking about money kind of exposes you for many people, right? Yeah, whether is it a good or a bad, right? But more importantly, I think generally standing from a guy's perspective, right? I think very much all the time is ego at play. There's no problem with a guy who's very rich talking about money if
That's
their partner
true.
is not that rich, right?
That is true.
But it's usually a very big problem for the guy to talk about money when their partner is earning more than them, or they don't think that they are doing very well right now, right? Because I've also gone through that in my own relationship. I think the toughest conversation I need to have with my wife at that point was when I was in financial difficulty, having credit card debts and all, and to come clean about it and tell her that, look, things are not that great. It's more than just money, but rather your whole esteem as a man, because you are afraid of the response that will be given. Yeah.
Because I guess naturally men are providers.
Right.
Like naturally you want to provide for the person you love.
Yeah.
And like you said, if you feel like at this point of time, I'm struggling, it's so hard to open your mouth to actually say, I don't have that much for you. Yeah, I can only imagine, right? But how long ago was that, and how did your wife or girlfriend at the time take it?
That time, we were about to get married. So it was in the year of, I think 2017. Yeah, 2016, 2017. Yeah, just within the first 2 months of our dating. So I got married very fast, but that's a story for another day.
I'm happy to dig into that, but okay, start.
Yeah, I got married in 3 months, right? After,
Oh, really?
yeah. So that's a story.
Wait, 3 months from after dating?
Yeah.
Wow, you just knew.
Wow, you just
Wow.
But that's a story.
sorry,
for another day.
different day, different pod.
So because I proposed, then it's time to be honest about where
Yeah,
are you at.
Of course.
Be vulnerable.
So and I initiated the conversation. Now whatever I'm gonna say is gonna sound like all happened within one period, but no, it's stretched across like 1 to 3 months, right?
Yeah.
Because to kickstart a conversation that
Yeah.
they're hinting to being honest about it, those kind of things. So I think for me was when I started telling her that, look, it may look very good on the outside, but actually I'm really struggling financially.
Because I remember you saying that you were driving nice car and everything. So
right.
from the outside, it could look like you're doing fine.
That's right.
But in actual fact, the bank account is in pain.
Yes, it's in pain. Yeah, because I started another business, right?
Yeah.
So then it wasn't doing very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, then you're like, oh, dang, yeah. Then to talk about it, and naturally, I think as a female, when you hear this, not everyone, but sometimes it can get a bit scary.
No, it is scary.
Right?
Let's be honest. It is scary though.
Yeah, so then definitely the initial reaction will be a little bit of a like, whoa, like, and because you're so sensitive at the point, as a dude, your whole ego is hang upon to hear her say that, look, it is fine, let's go through this together. But very often that may not be the initial reaction, right? So it will be a bit more of a questioning, why are you in this situation, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so I had to work this out with her. And definitely one thing that I did is that I took the initiative to let her know that, like, look, do understand that my whole ego is hung upon this. My whole self-image is hung upon this. If you're okay with it, I think just to hear you say that, let us work this out together, will be the most assuring thing to hear from you. And what I can say is that I'm going to work very hard to provide for the family.
Wow.
Right? So, and then it's just about trust, right?
Yeah.
Because I think when you are having such a sensitive conversation, it's best to not leave things to assumption and guess, right? It's best to tell, like, look,
Table it out.
Table it out. I wish to have this kind of response. If it is like that, if it's not like that, tell me like this. Yeah, and this will smoothen out that conflict, right? Or at least the bump is not so hard to cross, right?
Instead of trying to be okay with it when you're actually not okay with it.
That's right.
Then that would be a problem down
That's
the
right.
road.
That's
right.
right.
I like how you actually asked her for the response that you needed or that you really wanted from her. Even if it may not have been what she gave it initially, she knows that, okay, this is so important to you. And I think that's why couples tend to have a lot of conflict about money, is because you don't really know what the other person needs or is thinking. Like, for instance, like this particular money and gender role is so entrenched. Like the guy is supposed to be providing, and he is supposed to be in this role and very much leading the conversation. Like, okay, like we're gonna earn this much. This is how we're gonna control our money. This is how we're gonna grow our money. So oftentimes the girl is like left out in the sense like, I don't really need to know unless the guy doesn't know how to do it. So there's a lot more pressure on guys. I've noticed amongst my friend group and in my marriage as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it like for you?
Actually,
And on the flip side, as a woman,
yeah,
right?
like for me, why I got so interested in money is because in my past relationship, I felt that my partner at the time wasn't good with money. So I assumed the role of being the one who figured it out out of fear. Yeah. So I think if it were different, maybe I wouldn't have cared as much as I did about this topic, and I wouldn't have done all the work to figure it out.
Yeah.
Which is scary because
No, it is scary.
yeah, it could have gone either way.
Yeah. No, I think for me, like I sometimes wonder how soon should you be honest and transparent when it comes to money talks, right? Like it's not something that you bring up on the first date, second date. Like you said, you brought it up. I mean, you proposed early. That's a very special case. But like, what if it took a year for most people, a year or two? Oh,
Right.
you start talking about money. Actually, I'm in like massive debt. But it's like 2 years in.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna, if I break up over that with you, I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
But like the truth is, but you weren't honest from the start.
Right.
So now you're in this dipshit that you never told me about.
And then he's like, you never asked.
But like, because he's like, that's why I say money talk's so
Right.
difficult. Like, how soon and honest do you think is healthy to talk about money? You think?
I think you should talk about money as soon as you are getting serious in a relationship. I mean, when you're just enjoying getting to know this person, right? I think it's fine. But at the moment, if marriage is something in your mind, then I think you should be talking about money. And in fact, I would take it one step further to say that even before you're thinking about marriage, you should kind of talk about money, at least at the surface. Why? Because the truth is, how a person spend their money will tell you a lot about this person's values. And that's why it's the best filter from the start, right? I don't even know how much you earn, but roughly knowing that you can't live without branded, that tells me something already, right? So all this little bit of stuff, you want to pay attention to and have a conversation surrounding it.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I would advocate to talk about money even as your friends. Like, yeah, because
like with your friends.
with your friends, like with my friends, we talk about money all the time. It wouldn't be as deep as like, what do you want to do with, that final number, or how much are you earning right now? How big your bonus is? Like all those are, like even with your partner, some people are very uncomfortable revealing that too.
Yeah.
So I would say the rule of thumb is actually just start talking about it
As soon as you're comfortable.
as soon as you can. Because as you said, if you come to 2 years later, then you're gonna be the asshole who will be like, sorry, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, it's true. I guess like I'm not married, but I have definitely been in relationships where I actually just don't really know how much my partner was earning. It's more like I know kind of situation, roughly, and we just sail through it.
Yeah.
And we just assume. And I guess only when it comes to certain situation, like having to finally move in, who pay for what,
Yeah.
or like go on holiday. I want more budget, but then he want more luxury, or like
Yeah.
the other way around.
That's
He
right.
want more budget, I want more luxury. I think those things are, or those circumstances are when it's very telling about the disparity, if there's any, you know. But I guess it really depends how far you are in a relationship, really, I feel.
I would just say do
don't think
things
there's a-
together. Even if you're not very serious in a relationship, you're going on dates, you're going to have to talk about money anyway because you're making decisions together. And who's going to pay and all of that. Just, it will come up organically.
Yeah.
But sometimes I think it just go a bit further, you know?
No,
like-
but for some people, it doesn't come out organically.
so they're just like, oh,
There are some
You get
tips,
the
right?
bill?
Yeah.
So because I used to be a financial planner, right?
That's true.
So I have some trick up my sleeve to get someone to tell me some stuff.
Please give us some tips.
Right, yeah. So
Okay.
you don't really have to ask a person how much they're making every month, right?
Yeah.
You just need to do very simple calculation of their lifestyle. Like, hey, actually, every week, we've been going cafe. Don't you realize every week you spend like that, it's roughly this amount. And then, like, plus this, roughly, we are spending this much every month. Okay. The person will naturally start telling you whether it's okay. If the person face change, the person say, yeah, that's why there's some credit card not paying. This person is not earning as much, right? If the person say, what? Got problem?
No,
It's
feel the
either-
pinch.
It's either the person is so blur, or either the person is ignorant about their situation or they are that rich, right? Now, so then when you look at their car, I mean, very easy, right? Just start by, your car very nice. How much you pay for installment? Most people are okay with this kind of number,
Yeah.
but they are not okay with how much do you earn.
Earn and like how much you have in your
That's right.
savings.
How much is that back, right? And you add up all this number, it gives you a rough idea, right? So then you have a ballpark that you can play with. So then you have two situations, like I say. Either a person is ignorant of their situation, which means that you better be careful, right? The person is likely in debt, right? Another scenario is the person is really that rich. Then the that rich is a good scenario, right?
Well, I definitely have situations or like people I know that they didn't realize how rich their partner actually is. Also, it's
That's
like the
good
other
news.
on the flip side, which is a good problem to
Yep.
have. But then there's also like, I didn't know actually how broke he is.
Yeah.
So there's always
yeah.
a flip side, right?
That's right.
I have this question from one of our healers. Am I wrong for hiding my savings from my fiance? I wasn't comfortable sharing until I proposed to her. But now she's upset at me for not telling her this whole time.
Oh.
But I was kind of raised to not really talk about finances to anyone else except to the person I'm married to. And now I'm married to this person. So am I an asshole for hiding my savings? Because arguing,
Your opinion? Yeah, there are. Now share mine.
I mean, I don't see that there's anything wrong with keeping something.
to yourself?
Yeah, like savings. It's like, oh yeah, I have this pot of gold that I've been saving, and why would your fiance need to know unless you want to do something about it? I don't see a problem.
No, right?
No,
Yeah.
not really.
I don't see a problem as well, but
No, not as in like you don't see a problem with not sharing, right?
Not sharing this
Yeah.
amount that
Yeah,
they have.
'cause-
Yeah.
although I'm very open,
Yeah.
my wife knows exactly how much I have.
Uh-huh.
In fact, every other week I tell her how much I have.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, especially when like market moves, I was like,
Yeah.
wait, love.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, market bet, I'll show her also,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I'm pretty much transparent. And I do know how much she has as well. But I also do see the benefit of not telling sometimes, especially if you don't trust your partner enough. So then here's the question, right?
Yeah.
Do you trust your partner enough? And maybe instead of asking the question and getting angry at the person and say, why you don't tell me? My opinion is that maybe you should ask yourself why the person don't tell you, right? Yeah. I mean, it works vice versa.
No, it's true.
Right?
It's mutual. It's
mutual,
a
right?
relationship.
Yeah. And when you're saying that, did you tell, right, your partner as well, right?
Maybe
So-
her reaction right now is the reason why he didn't tell you in the first place. Or she.
That's right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And in my opinion,
Yeah.
I think that, I agree what you say, right? Yeah, it is this reaction at first that will make me feel like, why should I tell you, right?
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to do with my money?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sometimes a lot of the times we need to also reflect on our own reactions and the way
Right.
we speak to our partner, I feel. A lot of times if we don't make them feel comfortable or safe, difficult conversations like this is going to be hard to come out.
That's right.
So if you feel like, why my partner never talked to me about this, maybe think about how you've been.
Self-reflect.
Yeah, it's time to self-reflect. Okay.
Yes.
So I feel like that is really one of the deal breaker for me. If I have a partner like that, it's very difficult. How many more times will he have to be angry about something that I wasn't comfortable sharing? And when I'm finally vulnerable enough to open up, this is the reaction that I get, right?
Yeah, imagine if what I tell you is that actually I got no money.
Right.
Maybe it's the worst reaction.
Oh my God.
Then this partner will pack the bag and ciao already.
Right.
No, it's very true. Oh man, relationships are complicated, Sometimes, especially money, it changes people. Like this person can be so chill with everything else, but when it comes to money, I don't know if you guys have friends or have experience like that. Any deal breakers you've experienced before? What is your deal breaker? No, what is your financial deal breaker? If you have, let's say you guys are not married yet, you guys are looking for a partner. What is that deal breaker for you?
Ooh,
I feel like we don't think about
big
this.
deal breaker for money is marrying a gambler. That's huge for me.
So you would not,
I would never marry a gambler.
or even date.
Or date, yeah.
Yeah.
And if the person is unwilling to talk about money, just straight off the bat, no.
So you would just end it. I mean, it would be one of the reasons where you guys will have.
I don't think we can progress further
Through,
after that. It's
Yeah.
just like, why is there so much avoidance around this topic that is so important? Because like in life, the biggest thing that we need is a goal, right? And money is one of the way to live our life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tool, right?
Yeah.
So if you're not even willing to talk about the tool that we need to drive the rest of the things that we want, I don't see a way in proceeding. Yeah.
Do you have a
You have
deal
a
breaker?
deal
Peter?
breaker.
Yeah, like I mean, aside from the gambler.
Yeah.
Of course, that's fine.
That's like
for me,
majority
Yeah,
of
that's
people.
Yeah.
Like don't date a gambler.
I think for me, people generally think that money falls from the sky, or are very entitled towards it, like thinking that it is very easy to get money. Usually it turns me off. Because,
What do you mean?
like, for example, I think some people, they are brought up in a very well-privileged family.
Okay.
And they have this idea that money is a very easy resource to get,
Okay.
to acquire.
Okay.
Yeah, and sometimes they have this oversimplification of like, as long as you work, you can get money. But let's be honest, in this
No.
world, it's not like that. There are a lot of people who work damn hard and they still can't make ends meet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, that is a deal breaker.
I think that's a very valid deal breaker because if your partner doesn't understand the value of money, I think it will manifest in so many different kind of problems. Imagine having kids. Like the amount of money you need to raise a child. Money
That's
is
right.
involved. It's crazy, right?
Yeah. And then you can imagine, right? Like, let's say, I'm just giving an example, right?
Yeah.
Let's say you are not in a very good situation and they will tell you things like, oh, I think our kids deserve the best to go to a 2,500 ringgit child care, right? And then you're like, hey, bro, there's 800 ringgit child care, so, and it's not like they're going to make him go hungry and die, right? But rather, it's just that, it's not as atas. Then they'll be like, no, we are at that. No, you just need to work harder. Hey, bro, it's not I don't want to work harder.
Yeah.
Things are just not happening at this point.
Yeah.
It's not I don't want, but really things are not happening. Can we have the patience to go through? And I think that is something that for me, it's I always believe that couples who can go through hardship together remain stronger. And if one person's perspective is like that, it's going to be very hard because when there's a hardship, they're automatically taught is you are not putting in the effort. Because that's how they're brought up. Because their dad were business owner or their mom were business owner where it was a slightly more smooth sailing period. So when they put in the effort, they get to earn.
Yeah.
So naturally, when you can't bring in the dough, their perception is you're not working harder.
Ooh, that is very real. I feel like especially these days with the whole sugar daddy, sugar baby culture, you get things easy, man.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I've had this conversation with a friend who's a guy before, with someone. It's like, man, girls sometimes have it really easy. I mean, it is the truth. I don't think guys have the privilege sometimes. Like the pretty privilege is also a thing. And then like, there are avenues for women to get money much quicker and much faster.
In an easier method.
In an easier method, like dating a rich guy and then they can be set for life. And growing up, I have friends who I just want to be a tai. That can really be their ambition.
Yeah.
No,
Valid
it's
ambition.
true.
Valid ambition. And people won't look down at you.
No,
Yeah.
wow, good. Go get
Those
a
are
rich
good.
man.
People won't look down?
Yeah, no.
Really?
No, even parents will be
Celebrate
like,
it.
No, I mean like it's let's be honest, if you grew up in
Yeah.
the Asian culture, how many times
That's like the end goal. For a
correct
lot
or
of
like
women.
they will not tell you make sure you be rich, especially if you're a woman.
To
Marry a
guy.
rich man and just live a good life.
That's why now I'm educating my son. Marry a rich woman. Live a good life. I want to turn the narrative around.
Fair. I mean, women these days are very, very capable.
For sure, yeah.
We can earn our own moolah.
Yeah.
And I think that is great. I feel like the narrative is definitely turning around.
Yeah.
So maybe in 10 years'
Yes.
time, we'll have different kind of
Alright,
conversations.
I want to be a men Thai. Men Thai.
Oh my God. I think for me personally, just quickly going through the deal breaker is being overly calculative. Being too 50-50.
Yeah.
Like every meal, if it's like 55 ringgit, it's really divided by half. You pay me back half. I'm like,
55 and 50 cents. Hey, can you give me back 25 cents? Oh.
hey, I got before, So
really?
okay, not exactly like 25 cents. Okay, I'll tell you a quick story. So I once dated this guy, no longer dating, obviously. I once dated this guy. We went to groceries together, okay, and then we bought stuff. But then at the time, there's not much I want to buy. So he bought this particular bunch of rocket leaves to make salad, okay? Okay, the packet, the ready-made rocket leaves. So he bought that. And then we went home. So he made his salad. He's like, do you want some? Not really. That day, not really. But then the next day, I feel like, what? I kind of feel like having some because I'm a bit hungry. There's nothing else to eat. So I took a bit of the rocket leaves and made some for myself.
Oh my God, he charged you for it?
He came back. He's like, did you take some of my salad? And then I'm like, not boyfriend, girlfriend yet. This is like the whole like situationship. Dating only, CC only. And after that, he's like, did you take some? Oh, okay. Can you like pay half? Because at first you didn't want, now you want.
Whoa.
我傻咗，你知冇? I was like, I should have seen it from the start because on the first date that we went to, he was the one that invited me to go for a movie. So I arrived at at the cinema. And then I cannot invite, I'm the invited one. And then he's like, hey, so here are the tickets. So since I bought the tickets, can you buy popcorn? I don't even want to eat the popcorn, okay? Then I said, but I don't really eat popcorn.
Bro, do I look like popcorn? Yo.
But they are people like that, and to them it's normal. So
They just need to find each other, that's all.
They just
Yeah, they just need to find each
he's
other.
just
Yeah.
not
Okay.
for me. So that is for me. Ever since then, I'm like, 50-50 till like that is a deal breaker. Because I feel like I also did ask our healers, are you guys okay with 50-50? Actually, a lot of them say nay. Not okay to like being too hard set on being 50-50.
That's right, yeah.
But what's your thought on the whole 50-50, like splitting finances?
For me, it's more about being understanding, right? So in my house also is to say it's not 50-50. I pay for all the big bills at this point because now I'm much more financially
you're the
well-off.
breadwinner.
I'm the breadwinner, yeah. So I pay for all the big expenses and I give my wife an allowance. So what happened is that what I noticed that she does is that she will pay for some of the other things, right? Like for example, little groceries at home and sometimes even going out with my mom when I'm not around. She'll just pay for those stuff lah. When my mother say want to buy certain grocery, when she bring out, she pay for it. Once in a while we go out and makan, then she pay for it. I take the big bills, but time to time she'll say, hey, let me belanja you makan. And those are the little things that make me feel good. So for example, even like okay, I got this very big thing. I can buy whatever I want to buy. I'm not a person who will go be too calculative about what I want. Okay, except certain things.
Like
Like
what?
for example, I'm not willing to buy a oversized bottle because I feel like although it's 80 ringgit, but like it's a bottle. Why
What's
should I
an
spend?
oversized bottle?
like a big bottle.
Yeah, the big bottle, the
Oh.
2 liter bottle, right? Then I was like, oh, but it's 80 ringgit, so I started to become calculative. Yeah, but I'm okay buying a golf set that's 4,000 bucks, right?
Yeah.
It's just,
Your view on practicality is just
yes,
different.
that's right, because that's a golf set. This is a bottle, right? I get a bottle
So
of
the
30
things you
bucks.
care about, you're like, okay, let's
Correct,
spend.
yeah.
The things you're like, whatever, a cup.
That's right. So then my wife decided to buy me that bottle
Aww.
for my birthday, and I'm a very, very happy man because of that, right? So what am I trying to say is that 50-50 sometimes doesn't need to come in the form of exact monetary value, but rather in the form of support towards each other and fulfilling each other's needs. And I think that's much more important than calculating that sense.
Correct. What about you, Suyin?
It-
I feel like you're getting a bit of a
Yeah,
goosebump.
it's
What's
just
going
so-
on?
Like 50-50 to me, like with friends, that's fine.
Yeah.
But even with friends, I like to take turns to pay. It's just a really nice gesture. It's like, oh, you mean a lot to me. Let me treat you.
Yeah.
And I invited you. Let me do this for you. It's something nice. And I think the thing that I struggled with initially was receiving the same, like when my partner or when my friends want to pay for me. Then I'm like, okay, yeah, it's a gift. Thank you, I'll receive it. But when it comes to my marriage and how we chose to do money, like I think like it's easier to talk about it in terms of how we set it up. And what we did is 100% joint, which I don't normally recommend
You
that
mean
for couples.
joint account.
Yeah, we join our finances. So every single ringgit we earn, it's our money now.
Wow. So this is after marriage, though,
Yeah,
right?
after
Not
marriage.
during dating.
No,
Okay.
during dating it's like, separate.
What's yours is yours.
Yeah.
What's mine is mine.
Yeah.
Or maybe what's yours is mine. I'm kidding.
And I didn't think I would be that kind of person who would join our money.
Oh.
Yeah,
I think
also
it just
think so.
right.
Oh, yeah. I
We
mean,
talked-
yes.
we talked about this. Right, we talked about this, right?
No, it's gonna be separate. Then how say you talk.
By the way, context. Peter and Suyin, they also know
Oh,
each
yeah.
other. So yeah.
We've been friends for very long,
Yeah.
right? So what I've come to conclusion with is it really depends on who you're with.
Yeah.
Can you trust this person with your money or both of your money? So if you find the right person, you can do it together and maybe we can achieve
Things
bigger
together.
things. Yeah. And things together as well.
You brought up a great point, joint accounts, because that's like kind of like what I want to talk about next.
Mm.
Do you guys have a joint account with your partner?
Just signed up.
Oh, well, yes, of course
Yeah.
you have. Peter as well?
Yep.
But this is all during after
Marriage.
after you put a
Yes.
ring on it,
Yes,
right?
after the ring.
Dating don't have, right?
No, man.
Do you think it's necessary
Oh, we
to do it?
talked about it before, but we never got around to it.
Right.
Yeah.
But do you think it's necessary? Because I feel like most of our healers, our listeners, are maybe not yet married.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about that really quickly. Do you think it's necessary to have a joint account with your boyfriend, girlfriend?
No.
I think it's quite
Risky?
it's not about the risk, it's just about what happens if it doesn't work out. Then it's just mafan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I encourage to have that conversation like as if you have,
Yeah.
but don't join together.
Yeah.
Until you
talk
put
like-
a ring on it,
talk
right?
like
Yeah.
talk like it's joint, right? But just don't
Or you can have
join it together.
a joint envelope at home.
Okay.
Ah.
that one,
Simplify
yeah.
things a
Like an
bit more.
actual piggy bank at
Yeah.
home, right?
Right.
Put the
Yeah.
coins
Yeah,
into it
yeah.
is okay.
It's
but
like the
not-
next best thing.
Yeah,
you know?
it's kind of like don't buy a house with your boyfriend or your girlfriend until you guys are
Yeah.
married, because if you guys don't
You-
work out,
then it's
the
really
paperwork
hard.
is
That's right.
difficult.
That's right.
Right.
I think these days there are also certain tools that allow you to do this kind of stuff. as well,
Correct.
right? Yeah.
So this is where I want to share with you guys. Have you guys heard of group tabung?
No,
May?
not till you mention it.
Yeah, so just now before we came online, we were talking about, guys, have you ever heard of group tabung? And they haven't heard of it, but we've heard of tabung, like
Yes,
our own
that's
tabung.
right.
But yeah, there's this thing called group tabung on May, which is a saving feature within the Maybank May app. So you don't even need to like download a separate app where you can save together in a group for a common goal. And it's very easy to set up. So I feel like with this feature, maybe the whole joint account with boyfriend girlfriend can happen for like a short-term goal. Like hey, we want to go to Europe at the end of the year. This money will be used for that. I think it is doable. But if not, you don't need also can keep for husband or wife or your sister, or can open up to 10 group tabung, by the way.
Right.
Did you know that?
No,
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
Yeah.
And actually, like to set up a joint account, apparently,
Yeah.
like correct me if I'm wrong, you need to be related or
Oh,
married.
that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, like official, like for like in the
like
bank.
officially, like you can be siblings and set up a joint account, or like parents and whatever.
Proof of relationship.
But relationship, you need to be married, and like some banks make you produce your marriage certificate.
Right.
Yeah. So, this
this fe-
tabung
yeah.
is really useful then.
Yeah, useful for even with friends.
Mm.
Because,
That's right.
you know, sometimes you can have your best friend that you guys just have a common goal that you want to save
Yeah.
towards, like, I don't know,
Besties
besties
trip,
trip, like BFF
That's
trip.
right.
I don't
besties
know, like
jewelry.
my hands night with my
Yeah.
girly.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I
I think
didn't
one
know
thing
that.
you can add on to the idea of it during dating, right? Why is it good to have this kind of tabung, group tabung? Is because, let's say if I and this person are dating, right? Let's say both of you are saying that, hey, we want to save towards a Euro trip.
Right.
Because I think it also tracks individually how much you have contributed, how much I've contributed. Now, so that it becomes very clear, right? Now, you want to know whether your boyfriend or girlfriend has the discipline of saving.
To be consistent, yeah.
You don't even have to ask by now, right? Remember, it's not
It's-
about how to start.
The stats shows.
Does that show whether this person suddenly end of the month one lump sum, end of the trip near that day only throw in one lump sum? Then you know, like, okay, where is it coming from?
Yeah.
Or at a randomly different time. But if let's say this person every time consistently during a period of time, right? You know this person probably super disciplined in finance.
So it
all
tells you a lot
something.
about the personality
Right.
type.
Saving habit.
That's right. And there's also an opening for conversation. Like, hey, I noticed, you like every 2-3 months suddenly throw in, hey, is it because you get bonus one? Then you can start talking already. So I think those are very good opening for relationship.
Yeah.
Much easier than you save yourself, I save myself, and then just like as if you're grilling the person. So you got save or not?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
can
How
be
come this one don't have?
can be a turn off. Then
Yeah,
you
that's
feel like, wait, my
right,
mother is
yeah.
it nagging me all the time? My
this
mother
one is
don't even nag
automatically
me.
there, ma?
Okay. Well, that's a good tip. So to all you
Should use
healers
it,
out there, honestly, this feature is so new to me, but shout out to Maybank for having this feature. I think it's genius because I didn't know, like, to go to the bank to set up a joint account, you need like proof of relationship. That is something that I didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, my next question then, since you guys are married, I feel like I want to take note for my future as well. How do you keep track of your spending personally and within the relationship?
Oh, when you're single, you have a lot more time, I think,
Yeah.
to track. So last night I was a bit neurotic about it. I had like a whole expense app and like a whole Excel file. Now just no time for that.
Yeah.
All I see is like money going out of my account.
Mhm.
And I track my credit card statements.
Oh.
Yeah. And because I said we join our finances,
Mhm.
so we only have 3 bank accounts that we look at now. So the bank account, we have 2 joint bank accounts. One is where our money goes into,
Mhm.
and then another one is where the investments go.
Mhm.
And the other one's a spending account.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there a strategy like, I don't know, 50, 20, 20? Like,
Yeah. Still
what-
the same, something simple. So like we spend 30% and then we save 20% and then 50% goes to investments. It's a bit skewed heavily because that's what we're focused on and that's what we agreed on.
All right, healers, I don't know about you, but I am someone who sucks at tracking my spending. But with the May app, it has been such a game changer. It is the one app that helps me do everything. I can track my expenses, pay my bills, and even save and grow my money. The scan and pay function, though, is easily my favorite because it's just so convenient whenever I pay for things now. Like, I don't even need my physical wallet anymore. Just my phone, my May app, and I'm good to go. Download the May app and try it out today.
So, we talked about joint accounts. Okay, fine. Maybe in a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, joint account maybe not be the great idea, but there are many couples out there who would move in together. So even you don't have a joint account, you will have to join your spending and like paying bills and stuff like that. So before you guys got married, have you guys stayed with your partner before getting married?
I straight away got married, right? So,
Was she your first love?
no, but my previous relationship where I stayed with my partner as well. But we stayed with their parents. So
Okay, so then different.
it's a very different thing altogether.
Yeah.
You don't need to pay for anything.
Yeah.
Everyone doesn't need to pay for anything.
Yeah.
So it's fine.
What about you,
Uh,
Suyin? Have
Yeah,
you-
I've moved in with my partner before we got married as well.
the current, your
Current
husband
partner.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, and how did we do spending?
Yeah.
At that time,
Mm-hmm.
it was quite funny because I said, "Oh, I was moving into his home, right?" So I'm like, can I contribute to like the electricity bill and water bill?" And he's just like, "No, it's okay. I got it." I'm like,
Oh, wow.
"So nice one." And he said, "But when we get married, you're gonna pay too."
Ah!
like, then shouldn't get married, right? We got downgraded.
Because now, like, during
Yeah.
dating, is like, you don't have to pay, but then
Right.
when you guys are actually a team later on, you
then
have to
then you
equally
play
contribute.
team sport after
Okay,
that.
But now that you guys are married, how do
Mhm.
you split it?
Because now all our money is pulled together. and we have a fixed amount that we can spend on expenses. So it feels quite nice. It's like, oh, okay, we're both contributing, even though we're earning different amounts.
Yeah. Then how do you
It's just an
balance
agreement,
it out?
like
Oh,
I give my 100%, you give your 100%.
I'm committed to you. I
Yeah.
trust you with the money, and this is how
So
we're gonna
we're a
spend it.
team, and this is how we're gonna do our money.
You know, that's a very wholesome way to do it because I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of people may not. Um,
It's risky for sure.
yeah.
But yeah, the good thing is that both of us have our savings beforehand as well.
Yeah.
So I still have that to fall back on, and he
But like
also has
not
that.
joint savings, right?
No, like this is our individual savings.
Right.
And then
Right.
after marriage, it's like, oh, a clean slate. And now we have joint savings,
Right.
joint investments.
So now you don't have your own savings. I mean,
Just
your previous
prior to
own
that.
savings.
So it's like before marriage savings kind of thing.
Right. I'm asking this because like a lot of us who are still dating, like not married phase,
Yeah.
when you
You're
move
going to
in,
spend money together.
like it's hard. Like, okay, moving with my partner, who pay? Do we do 50-50? Or if he earns more, does he pay more of the rent? Like, I don't think there's a right way to do it, right? It's really, like you said, based on what you are comfortable with. Peter, what's your take?
For me, because my situation is a little bit different, right?
Yeah.
When I first got into a relationship with my wife, I mean, very quickly we got married, and I wasn't in that good a shape, right? So because I wasn't in that good a shape, quite a bit of it, definitely, I tried my very best to pay, and I did contribute my part. And she even helped me by taking out some of the savings to pay for my dad. Right? And then I need work to pay it back. And then we start setting goals and say, look, moving from here, if we hit this kind of saving, we're going to do these kind of things to reward ourselves. And subsequently later, my business took off. I was doing much better. So now basically how we do it is I pay for most of the things. You just contribute a will. lah. As you suka lah. And then your money is your money. My money is your money.
Well, this is when you
But-
see, when you're married, this kind of conversation easy to
Yeah.
really,
But like,
Yeah.
okay, going back to when I was dating my previous partner, right? We moved in. I mean, this is not the guy I married, but
Okay,
my previous
yeah.
partner. And we were renting.
Uh-huh.
So it was a conversation we had to have.
Yeah.
And I wanted to only pay half of the rent. I didn't want to pay for 70% or 60%. I
Were
didn't want to
you
pay higher.
the higher earner?
Yeah, I was the
Okay.
higher earner at the time.
Okay.
And the reason is because the decision to move out is a joint one. Yeah.
Right.
Even though the right thing to do in my thoughts would have been to cop more of the rent
If you consider the ratios of your earnings.
of
Okay, yeah.
earnings. Yeah. So it's very dependent on the couple, and you cannot run from that conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even though we paid equal amounts in rent, so I caught more of the grocery bills or like the setup. You know, when you move into a place, you need to buy random things that you
Yeah.
don't really think about. You're like cutlery
Yeah.
costs money, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
true. Furnitures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Then- Yeah, I think that's why it reflects a lot on your value, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's less about the number, but
Correct.
how you view the responsibility of a relationship
Yeah.
need to be. And that's where you start
Right.
revealing certain things, and you got to make a decision again whether are you comfortable with this couple or this person or not.
Yeah.
yeah, and I think money talks really make or break a lot of couple as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are people out there who want a certain kind of lifestyle. And to have that certain kind of lifestyle requires a certain amount of money
Right.
that maybe you expect your partner to contribute or provide for. Especially men, lah, I guess. I
Yeah.
guess it's more pressure on men to
Sorry,
provide.
guys.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Peter.
Yeah.
No, do you agree?
Oh.
Like,
I
okay, what's
agree.
the talk amongst the men like?
Yeah, do you
I always
do you
wonder, 'cause
complain?
I always get women on the pod. But
Right.
like, I want to pick your brain today. Like, what's the conversation like amongst men when you guys are
Right.
not with the wives or the girlfriends when it comes to money?
I think the group of friends that I'm in are quite traditional.
Okay.
So we just
You are
yeah,
providers.
that we are the provider. We just embrace that. But if I put on a very thinking hat, like an academic or as a commentator, then it's a little bit different. So please don't cancel me, right? Yeah.
Safe space.
Yeah,
Safe space.
safe space, yeah. I think these days many female wants equality, right? And sometimes that equality translate into the definition of who pays for what, and that kind of also determines how they feel about themselves. They feel that like, okay, if if why you want me to pay less just because I'm a lady, you know, that kind of thing. Like, then they get a bit offended. But then you're like, okay, Lord, then I don't pay her. Then they get angry. Like, why you're not generous? So it's like,
Okay,
yo,
cannot win.
bro, which one you want, man? Like you want to be equal, but you don't want me to open the door for you. But when I don't open the door for you, you say I'm not gentleman enough. So which one you want? Can you just tell me? Yeah. So I think today the situation is a little bit like that.
Yeah.
Where it makes quite many of us guys a little bit on the toe, right? So definitely for me, why I embrace the traditional side is because I'm a very, very practical man.
Yeah.
I don't believe in dealing with things that I cannot change.
Yeah.
And I think the general social perspective is already men is going to provide. Then let me just embrace that and make my survival based on those rules. It's kind of like I'm living in Malaysia, right? There's only two things. Either I don't live here or either I play by Malaysia rules and make money in a Malaysian way. So I'm just very practical in that sense. Yeah.
You know what? I feel like this, I wanted to talk about this at the end of the episode, but I feel like the timing is perfect since you're talking about this now. This is a question from one of our healers who's a guy, okay?
Oh.
And his question is, my fiance makes more than me, but I cannot find other ways that I could contribute. Thoughts on this? So how do we tackle this?
I know how you feel, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like how?
Yeah. It's a definitely, I think that for most men, when you feel it that way, and it makes you feel less of a man sometimes, right? It's true, right? Like for women, you may say that, no, why should we feel that way, right? But actually it's true. We feel less of a man sometimes because of that, because the whole social perspective is built upon it, that you should be the better provider and stuff like that. So to embrace the fact that you're not going to be earning that much, it requires a lot of courage. And it requires your partner to be very comforting or very assuring. But it also lays another burden on your partner sometimes to keep assuring you that you are fine not earning that much. Because, I mean, the truth is ultimately, whether you like it or not, I do notice that for most females, most do wish to date a man who's going to be a leader. Sometimes leader not so much financially, but at least by character, by personality, right?
Yeah.
So if you are always dealing with that, I'm earning less than you, how can you assure me? It's also very tiring on the female. So sometimes the breakup will not come because of the financial part, but because you need to deal with your ego. So I think the first step is just accept the fact that you're not earning as much. Have a good conversation with her. Tell her that, look, this is how I feel about it. And what if in this whole lifetime, I'm just going to own less? How can I be a better leader or be someone who you can depend on despite the fact financially I am not someone you can depend on, right? But are there other aspects that can compensate? Have that real conversation, right? If her answer is actually no, then you also know lor.
Yeah, lor.
Right?
Then knock ngam already lor.
Knock ngam already lor. Or either you just work harder lor. Right? Yeah. There's another story lor.
Yeah.
And then finally, there's also another part is that once you settle that, then I think it's time that you have more space for you to be yourself and think about how to expand your income. Because if not, you're trying to expand your income based on that as a motivation.
Oh,
It's difficult because you're not earning money for something. You're earning money just to fulfill someone else's
void.
desire,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Or your perception of someone else's desire. Now, then as you're going to think about expanding your income, I think there are always ways. Yes, I also come to a position today after running business. Not everyone is suitable to run business. That is true. But there are many ways that you can increase your income. For example, if you can just go and pick up a course on how to do coding, right? And these days we know people who code earn a lot of money and there's a lot of side gigs for you, right?
Yeah.
Maybe since the fact that you're not earning as much, think about it like, hey, maybe my job doesn't demand that much as well. I can tell my partner like, hey, is it okay that after work, I go and learn coding, right? I'm pretty sure your partner will support you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To know that you are being proactive.
That's right.
To making things
That's right.
work.
I think sometimes in my experience of going through what I've gone through, I think very often for most of the ladies, the assurance doesn't come from you earning a lot of money. The assurance comes from you putting in the effort to work towards giving her the security. And that's sometimes what the lady wants to see rather than you suddenly just becoming very rich.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my opinion as
Yeah.
a married man on the hindsight today. Huh?
Yeah. I mean, you're the best person to answer this question, if anything, because you
Right.
actually went through it. And I mean, the question came from a man as well, because sometimes I was listening to it and I was reading it. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. So thank you, Peter. That was very insightful.
Yeah,
And I
you're welcome.
agree that there are many things that are also far valuable more than money. Like being a supportive partner emotionally, I feel like that's also something a lot of
Yeah,
women
that's huge.
love and appreciate and crave for, because most of the men sometimes are provided. They just work. And then the emotional part of that sometimes is depleting. So I feel like in this case, what I think after listening to what you said, maybe if you can't contribute monetary, you can contribute in ways that is not monetary, like keeping the house clean when your girlfriend or fiance come back from work, if she's the one that's always out and about earning more, or like helping each other remind how you track your spending. So,
Right.
our spending is like this. Be that person to like,
Be that supporting role in
Yes.
that relationship. And I
Yeah.
think this part is very tricky because, the traditional gender roles is easier to operate from, like when the guy is earning more, it's so much easier for the woman to be the supporting partner,
Yeah.
like, take care of him, make sure he's like well fed and he's like emotionally happy, he's all of that. But when the roles
It's
are reversed, then
Yeah.
it becomes very tricky. It's like, oh my God, are you even a man for taking care of the house? Like, it's just like, I think we just need to be kinder.
Yeah, and accept a new narrative that is
Right.
forming. I feel like
Yeah.
this generation is also the generation where we're finally seeing a little bit of the flip side,
Yeah.
where the narratives is changing.
combinations.
By the time your son grow up, maybe
Yeah,
very different
then
already.
the rich
That's right. That's why
wife
now
be a
I'm
norm.
changing my son's mindset. Marry a rich wife.
But also be rich yourself.
Yeah, also be
Then
rich
you get
yourself.
better quality rich wives.
That's right. Yeah.
Because my mom tells me this all the time. Make sure you marry a rich person. Then you can get. Then I'll tell her, Mom, what if I'm the rich man
Right.
myself?
Ooh,
Right.
listen.
You
Come
know,
on, man.
then I can have
Yeah,
better options.
Strong combination
Yes,
together.
yes.
It's
Yes.
even better.
Yeah,
No,
that,
no,
that day
it's
we
true.
were I had this event, so we talked about this topic, right? So we're
Yeah.
saying that it is when a man is earning a lot, it's okay for him to date someone who is earning less.
Yeah.
But for a woman to be earning a lot, it's
Cannot
harder for her
accept,
to
yeah.
date someone who's earning less.
True.
Yeah. So if
Yeah.
you find someone who's willing to date you despite the fact that knowing that you're earning less, and it's okay after
You mean
going
as
through
a
that,
man?
Yeah,
Yeah.
as a man.
Yeah. She's a
Be very
gem.
thankful, man.
Yeah.
Be very, very thankful.
It's not easy. It's definitely
Yeah.
not easy.
I mean, I definitely have been in relationships where I'm the one who worked first, and therefore I will have more income. Not because I'm earning way more, but because I'm in the workforce earlier.
Longer, yeah.
Because, back in our 20s, right? So I think to be the person earning more, it doesn't really bruise your ego in any way. It really is a matter of how your partner receives it as well. I think that is also very telling of, like you said, value system or the person that they are, their character.
Yeah.
So if they're constantly going to be wallowing in self-pity and like using that against you, and like,
Then the
making you
relationship-
feel smaller at home
yeah.
because you are the one actually earning more, their ego is bruised. So in some sense, I feel like these situations can unfortunately turn a relationship sour
Yeah.
also.
It can be a very good deciding factor should you proceed with the relationship.
Yes.
Does it make you feel good or worse about yourself?
And would you want to marry someone like that, for example?
Yeah.
Right? I get so many, I won't have time to really read through all your DMs, but there's so many DMs like that
Right.
brings me up, that says, like I'm the higher earner, but my partner talks me down all the time and I'm not sure why.
Oh, that's so sad.
It is a thing.
Ego
Yeah.
thing.
It's an ego thing,
It's
like
an
you
ego
said.
thing. Yeah,
Money is, I won't say equivalent to ego, but it relates to your ego.
Yeah,
and
yeah. I've seen couples like that.
Oh, yeah?
I've seen couples like that where
The higher earner controls the
yes.
dynamic.
No. The guy earns more.
Okay.
The lady is an ambitious person,
Oh.
but she's earning lesser.
Okay.
Oh.
And what happened is that they will have this ego play, like, why am I not earning more than the guy? And then they will kind of belittle the guy a bit, try to control the guy a bit. Then when they manage to catch up with the earning and do very well, they will complain about the guy not being ambitious enough
see.
and not being hardworking enough. But then they enjoyed it because ultimately this person, in my opinion, to a certain extent, is also dealing with their own trauma of being probably developed some sort of a little bit of a narcissism.
So she wants to win.
Yeah, like and I think that sometimes this kind of character, whether it be male or female, just wants a pet.
Yeah.
Something that they can just
Correct.
like come by all the time. Yeah. Quite sad. But these are true stories, man.
Oh yeah. I feel like if we want to get into money talks and relationship stories, we
Right.
can go on and on
Yeah.
about it. Maybe another episode. Well, that's crazy. It's really very true. Like I'm sure just amongst us, we have a friend or two that we can think of when we talk about this, right? Or maybe your own experiences in the past. But yeah, I think when it comes to money, personally, I think I didn't come from a lot. I think I'm someone who came from a very humble background. In fact, like at some point, like really, I only really had like 200 ringgit in my bank account. So for me, the value of money is very important. And what I look for in a partner is also someone who sees money the same way that I do. Not simply spend and not overspend on like things that doesn't really matter. And but I personally, now that I guess I'm earning a little bit more than I used to before, I find myself overspending, yeah.
Oh, it's very normal.
Very normal, very normal.
Wow. No, back in the days, I'm a bit more like budgety.
Yeah.
Okay, make sure I don't spend beyond this. If it's anything, a meal above 30 ringgit, nothing, cannot buy. I'll just eat chap fan. But now that, when your spending power increases, I don't know if you guys experience this.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I look back at my May app and I'm like, what? I spent like almost 18K this month? What the fuck? Have you guys experienced that before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
normal. It's like every time you start earning a little bit more or you see your bank account balance a bit bigger,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
you're like,
More
oh, a bit
confidence to
loose.
spend.
Yeah, I go through pockets of it. I have like a pocket of really focused, like, oh, I'm really saving, investing. And then I'm like, oh, okay, long time never buy things, huh? Then really go over the top and you're like, oh shit, I need to come back down to earth.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think for me it was the same. There were different phases that I had that, right? The first time was when I first started working.
Yeah.
I told myself like you're not gonna over budget, right? And then the next thing happen, you get a credit card, you blow the credit card, take another month to pay back, right? Yeah, that's very normal. Then subsequently when I first earned my 5-figure income, then I just I thought I'm on top of the world, right?
Yeah.
You thought everything also you can buy one. Then after that, at the end of the month, oh crap, like the credit card bill comes, then you start to realize it. I think I went through less of that, or a lot less of that, is after I got married and have kids. Yeah. And suddenly having kids, it does change your whole perspective.
Yeah.
So I'm in this phase of my life where a lot of things don't matter.
Oh,
Yeah.
like what? What do you mean?
Like branded doesn't mean
Okay,
much to
right.
me. Like if I buy branded, it will be just because I really like that thing that I just buy, right? Yeah. I won't bother much about a lot of stuff as well. And most of my money, whenever I can, when I get it, after paying for all my household bills, the important things like children education, fees and so on, the rest is actually just put into investment. A big lump sum of it is actually invested into investment, right? And because I run an active business, right? So we get dividends and stuff like those. Our Sandram Berhad account. So definitely and because of that, I kind of limit my regular salary. Our regular salary is not that high; it's quite low, right? It's just enough for me to set aside some investment and for my expenses, right? And then whenever I get the big lump sum, I'll just throw it into investment. And then once in a while, I may buy some stuff if I want. So I have certain things like that I'll spend a lot on, like regularly every month. Like for example, golf. Right now they
I
play
didn't
golf.
know you play so much golf, huh?
Oh yeah, man. I tell you, golf is
Really?
yeah.
You're a
it's-
golfer now since
I'm
when?
a golfer, right?
Hey,
I've never
golf
seen.
is an expensive sport.
No, it's very elitist. So it's
Yes.
you
No,
spend a
not
lot
the
of money.
elitist sport is pickleball, man.
Dude, it's like popping out of nowhere. But they're saying like it's not an actual sport lah, but it is. But if you play pickleball and then you tell them it's not an actual sport, they get offended one.
Yeah, man.
right,
They're
right,
serious. They're serious
So
about
I'm
it.
not part of the gang. I'm a golf guy. so
Golfer.
You spend about like so golf you roughly end up spending about 800 ringgit a month, right? Just
Oh, that's
on that,
fair.
right?
That's
Yeah.
alright.
And I'm okay with that, no?
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
just enjoy my life.
What are you overspending on lately?
Okay. For me, I didn't know. I'm not a number person, guys. Like, I am so bad with numbers. I'm like the opposite of the both of you. Like, when it comes to finance, it scares me. Like, when I needed to talk about this topic, I'm like, I cannot. I need to get people who are actually good at it because I'm so bad with numbers. So recently, I went on my May app. You know how it has a breakdown of all your spending? Actually, I didn't know until like a couple of years ago when I used it for like a year or two. I didn't even know there's this graph, that pie. Not very, very proud to tell you, you know?
It's okay. No judgment.
Food and beverages. I spend so much on food and beverages. And I'm like, what the heck do I eat? I'm still hungry all the time. Well, I guess cafe food these days is not very cheap.
No.
Oh, expensive.
Yeah. Like one America, I started drinking coffee again. I never used to drink coffee. So now, right, I refuse to spend more than 8 ringgit. Okay, cannot 8 ringgit.
A bit hard like that.
I refuse to spend more than 10 ringgit for a coffee because some can be 12.90.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Expensive.
Expensive.
And you know when I was in Switzerland, guys, one coffee is 8 franc.
Which is
40 ringgit.
Oh, and that was a daily.
No, 1 cup of coffee.
So every day do you drink coffee?
No, I try not to. I drink hotel coffee. Instant coffee is okay. I have to save my money. But personally, based on my May graph, it's the food and beverages, the pink color one.
Right. Roughly how much
Roughly how
you end up spending?
So I used to have my own budget for
why
food
you
and
out
beverages.
here like that?
used to be like 50 bucks a meal. 50 bucks a day. I think I went to, sometimes a meal can be over 100. But sometimes I buy food for people.
Right, you treat people.
Yeah, so
Right.
now that my
Correct.
spending power actually a little bit more than before, I love treating people. Like, I'm happy to take the bill. So maybe that added to my spending.
Yep.
Which, you know what? If it's for other people, I'm happy to give, but I need to slow it down a little bit.
Yeah. So I have to say it's and because the fact that you are kind of running a business as well at the same time,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So it is very normal that your F&B bill will go up.
Yes, like
Yeah,
like a team,
it's
sometimes I just
okay
buy
one.
everyone coffee.
Correct.
Or buy everyone bubble tea or whatever.
Yes. So just to share with you,
Yeah.
my office food bill,
Uh-huh.
at one point it was about 5,000 over ringgit every month.
Okay, that's my own one, personal. No office, no team.
This one cannot claim basically.
Yeah, but our one is the whole team
Yeah,
lah, which
yeah, it's a
include our
lot.
makan as well. My
Yeah.
own personal one, okay lah, I have to also say lah, if I go out with my family,
Yeah. Hey.
oh, once you have a family, I tell you, makan bill is different level,
Oh,
okay?
yeah, oh, yeah.
You think 100 ringgit one meal is
No,
okay? I
cannot
tell
lah.
you, whenever I go out with my family,
How much?
like if let's say it's with my sister, everything, then once I pay, it's about 300 to 400 ringgit one meal, okay? So one weekend, you spend 2 dinners with your family, you're talking about 600 ringgit gone one weekend.
One weekend.
One weekend, just food,
So there's 4 weekends, you know?
Alright.
Times 4,
That's if you have
2,000.
family gathering, every single one, right?
Then how do you save actually when you have a family?
I'll be honest with you,
It's hard to save.
it's very hard to save. You gotta earn a lot. Now, it's
You cannot tell your kid, don't eat that, right? If they want, you have to give, right?
so I don't know. But I'm a bit of a Kuai Lan parent.
How? What do you mean?
Like I tell them that you eat this, then eat this. You don't eat lah. Yeah, I don't care whether you cry or not. Yeah.
So they finish
don't eat
it
lah.
lah.
Yeah, you finish it lah. Then
Oh.
so because of that, I'm very thankful my son will just eat veggie and everything, right? So, but having said that, I really think that if you are not earning anywhere about like 10K,
Yeah.
it's gonna be tough for you to live a very comfortable family life. Now, I'm not saying 3K can't. 3K you still can. It's just that you won't be able to like go out to Chinese restaurant with your sister's kids, and then after that go and makan one big meal. Forget it lah. You likely just cook at home and then eat simple meal.
That day I went to Hai Di Lao. Chia my sister dinner. Birthday. Easily 300 bucks already.
Correct.
Come on, man. It's not cheap, man.
Yeah. So again, it's a choice of lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I think that,
No.
but I'm also a believer that if you're earning well, spend your money in a
Well.
way that makes you happy.
I agree.
Yeah.
If eating with your friends and buying your family meal make you happy, just do it.
Yeah, I agree. That's what you're working so hard for, right? To have a better life.
That's right.
As long as you treat they have this saying where every dollar you have is a vote for the kind of life you want to live. Yeah, so
Wait,
if
can you repeat that again?
every dollar you spend is a vote for the kind of life you want to live.
Oh.
Yeah. So you vote properly. You don't just simply like, oh, I don't even care about shoes, but you buy expensive pair. Like you really need to adjust your life so that you are spending in the most optimized way. If you love golf, spend on golf. If you love treating people,
Yeah.
then do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love food, just spend on food, man.
Yeah.
And trust me, this is the time you do it.
Why?
Because later when you get married, get kids,
Get kids,
you
no
got
more.
no such privilege.
Yeah, I
So do
enjoy
it now.
spending food on myself now because I used to really only can afford chap fan
Yeah.
or like go mama have one half boiled egg and one chapati. Make sure I have my protein and my carbs and a bit like a side dish veggie and that's all I can afford. So I remember those days, So now that I can afford like a nice meal or like a Hai Di Lao or wherever, I find it's a blessing. It really is a blessing. Like you work so hard for this, right? It's the little
Yeah.
things because if you don't come from a lot, these things is a lot for you.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we can contribute to our economy also. so
Correct.
It's a good thing.
And I also believe that being able to earn money and spend money is also a blessing.
Oh, yeah.
Truly.
Last thing for ladies, I just want to let you know, now you
Yes.
haven't get kids yet, not sure whether you plan to have it, but it's not just about money. When you have kids that time, it's about the ability to enjoy your food.
Yeah.
So
I hear
go
this
and
a lot.
enjoy your food. I tell you,
Enjoy hot food, right?
every time when I bring my wife to makan, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes I
Just
tell
the
her,
both
say-
of you?
I say like, hey love, you want to go and eat good food? Like she'll say like, don't bring the kids. So if with the kids, she'll go and eat the cheapest food ever. You know why? Because it's just food.
Yeah.
It's so busy, right? Yeah, it's just food. So now that you can do all that, please go and do all that. Go
Okay.
enjoy yourself. Yeah.
Noted.
You will come to a phase in your life later, you're like, okay, it's time to get kids. Yeah, you will plan your money out. But by then, for the next 2 to 3 years, I'm so sorry. You will need to steal time to go and to go for steak to enjoy yourself. It's not about the money, it's about the time.
One last thing I kind of really want to touch on. We've talked about spending, splitting bills, joining account. We've talked about tracking our expenses and making sure we eat good while we don't have kids. I also want to feel like this is the final piece of the puzzle. I feel like growing wealth with your partner is something that I feel I never used to do, but I would like to incorporate that into my next relationship. Because I feel like it brings a lot of value because like you said, you will get to know what kind of person they are when it comes to money, the
Right.
value they hold, their perception on money. So I'm sure you do now, but
Yes.
like, how do you grow wealth together?
Actually, after getting married, I feel like I'm more careful with my money. Last time, individual, I just choose the companies that I like and I invest in the stocks. But now I just do boring investing, like just the traditional market index. That's how we grow our money together. Because individually, we already have our own riskier assets.
Yeah.
So crypto and individual stocks.
Yeah.
So the joint one is just boring.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And every month we'll just contribute an amount, then we'll buy the index fund.
Okay.
So it just performs like the market, the US market, not the Malaysian market. And then, then it'll just grow in the background.
Okay.
We have some EFD or like we
Oh.
have some FD because we are like both working people. We don't really go to the bank
Yeah.
at all. So we just sign up for small amount of FD. But yeah, that's
Now that you mentioned FD, actually, Maybank also has this option called EFD. I used to only think that FD you need to go to the bank and then like have to get in a queue and do all that.
Yeah.
But so actually, what
We
is
don't have time for that.
EFD? If you can break it down for us,
so an FD is a fixed deposit.
Yeah.
The E in front is just you're doing it online.
electronically.
Yeah. And I think it's really convenient. Online banking is something our generation benefits a lot from because banking hours are so silly. They are during working
It
hours.
closes at 4 most of the time. Sometimes.
Yeah, that means like you literally need to take leave in order to get your banking stuff done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you work
yeah.
9 to 5.
That's true.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. So being able to apply for a fixed deposit online is very convenient. Something that I would use and I do use.
Okay.
And the rates are not bad for Maybank, I would say, comparing everything. The EFDs normally have a campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And I think there's one right now.
And you guys can actually do it if you're interested to start your own EFD account. You can actually do it via the May app or even the Maybank to You website. So it's very, very easy. You don't even need to step out of your house these days.
Yes.
Honestly, I feel like I'm in the right era because
Yeah.
I love doing things digitally. Nowadays, when I travel, I don't even need to bring money
Yeah,
anymore.
man.
Just your phone.
Yeah, even May app, I can just scan. I'm good to go. It's
Yeah.
just so easy. I hate bringing money. Then sometimes, you know how if ladies, we've got different bags, like different amount of money stashed everywhere, and then I lose track.
I forget to bring my wallet all the time just because.
Yes.
I get
Yeah.
angry when I go into a shop and they don't take QR. And they tell me cash only and I get very angry.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Kenapa?
Seriously, like,
Why you launder
are
your
you
money?
living in like
Why?
1992?
You want launder money? Must take cash.
But nowadays, even a chicken rice shop can do QR pay.
Oh,
Okay?
all got QR, damn
Correct.
good.
So come on, guys, keep up, man. Keep up, man. Guys, we have come to the end of the episode. And I just want to say thank you so much for all your input. Like, I learned so much. And I feel like there's so much value in conversations like this. And like even like prompting this episode to listen with your partner can spark conversation. I feel.
Aww.
That's nice, like listening to, my good two friends who's so good at money. Like, I'm not the best person to talk to about money. Like, if I ask you to spend, you might just spend. But anyway,
We'll get better and better over
I try.
time.
I think I'm much better from the time I met you guys for the first time versus now. I finally started investing.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've been investing for the past 2 years.
Nice.
So I can
Then
see
you should
my-
be very happy.
Yeah, actually very happy. So like
Yeah.
now I can see, wow, my passive income is good leh. Like I don't need to worry too much. So I think I've learned so much from the conversations we had. You guys planted so many different seeds in my brain, and now that I had that conversation with you guys, I went to learn more about investing, and then thank you guys.
You're welcome.
Welcome.
And thank you for having us.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let you go without asking you
Oh.
the 3 final question I asked all of my guests. You guys answered this before the last time, but I feel like times have
don't remember,
changed.
man.
Exactly. So we're
Oh.
gonna do it again. What are you currently head over heels for?
Mm.
Mm.
I am currently head over heels for. It's a bit weird. I'm a bit obsessed with babies
Aw.
right now.
Babies.
Yeah.
Well, actual babies, right? Actual human
Oh.
babies,
like
right?
actual babies. So I guess I need to
Hmm.
take Peter's advice on eat good food now while
Faster
I
go
can.
omakase.
Go omakase. Yeah.
Bring your husband on a date.
Yeah.
Like many, many dates.
Yeah, we've been going on a lot of dates
That's
to
nice.
try out different food. So
Okay.
it's been really nice.
Okay.
You want food recommendation? Let you know later.
I will DM you after this.
Mm.
Peter, what about you? What are you currently head over heels for?
My wife. Yeah,
Oh!
that's the correct answer.
So what's the incorrect answer?
Okay, the incorrect answer will be golf. I'm working very hard to lower down my score.
That's the
Did they
actual
call it the
answer.
handicap?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
okay.
right.
Okay, fair. I think I love that you found a spot you enjoy.
Aw.
Okay, next question. What is the worst or best advice you've ever received?
I guess I'll go with a relationship advice. This is like in the context of a relationship that's not really working out. The worst advice was, it's okay lah, just go with it and it'll work out anyway. Yeah, don't do that.
I mean,
'Cause-
if it's giving you signs that it's not working, don't force it, right?
Right. And especially because we're talking about money in this
Yeah.
episode, this is one of, the flags that you should be looking at.
Yeah.
And it's an indication of whether it's a good relationship for you or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Peter?
I think since this episode is about relationship as well, I think I'll give something that's more about relationship, right? And it's more of a two advice
Okay.
that has to be linked together. If not, you may take it wrongly.
Okay.
Ooh.
Right? Yeah. I think the first one is that when I chose to get married with my wife, I asked my mentor, do you think it's a good decision, right?
To get married.
Yeah, to get married, because it's only 3 months, right?
Uh-huh.
Then he's like, bro, that's the craziest thing that I've heard, right? He said, this is crazy, I wouldn't do it. But I can't tell you whether is it right or wrong. I just wouldn't do it. But I've seen people who met one day, got married in Vegas, until today they're 80 years old, and they're still happily married. I've seen people who dated for 10 years, and after 2 years of marriage, they get divorced. So I can tell you that there's no such thing as a formula for success in every marriage. There's no template. It is really up to you. Just remember this one thing: if you get married, you're gonna commit to it, and there's no way out. Don't think like you have a way out. Yeah. Now, why do I say now the second advice is very important is Because the truth is, this is provided you meet the right person, right?
Yeah.
The other advice is a lot of people say that in a relationship it's about give and take. But that is a lie.
Why?
It is give and give.
Hmm.
You see, happiness is built upon a lower expectation. When both person adopt a mindset that we are going to give and give, means you have less expectation on each other, but you're willing to go the extra mile for each other. Naturally, both will outperform each other's expectation and you will have a happy marriage. So don't stop thinking about give and take, because if you keep thinking about give and take, you're always going to ask, I already give this much.
When am I taking more?
Yes, when am I going to get back? What are you going to give me? But if your mindset is give and give, and the other person's mindset is also give and give, you don't have to be worried about the give and take part.
You
because
live in abundance.
Yes,
Right.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say that that's the best advice that I've got.
That's a
Aw.
great
Yeah, that's really
perspective.
good.
Actually, I shall take note.
Yeah.
One last question. Oh, sorry. Is there anything you want
So it's like, you know how we were talking about 50-50
Yeah.
earlier? It's both of you giving your 100%.
Oh, yeah. So, guys, forget about 50-50. Both give 100% and you're within your own capacity. I think that's the best way to go about it, right? Oh, I love that. Very good closing. Last question, which a lot of our guests so far, we don't have too many guests on the show yet on this season, but they find it hard to answer this question. So I wonder how you take it. How do you want to be remembered?
I want to be remembered as a person who is very loving. Yeah. So, just that loving and authentic.
I love that. And you are, I think. And we can see it through the way you speak, the way you do your things, and the way you're so real about how you live your life.
Thank you.
Yeah. And Peter?
For me, it will be about people remembering me as someone who has made a difference and an impact. Yeah. So in fact, my whole business was built upon that. And but let's be honest, the impact can be the difference can be both good and bad.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You sometimes you may end up you may affect a person immediately showing positivity. Some it may end up at first it may feel like negative, and hopefully later it feels positive, because not all medicine tastes sweet, right?
Oh, that is
So-
very true.
But that's what matters to me.
Yeah. Guys, thank you so much. We are head over heels for the both of you and the work that you do. Please continue, because you guys are really impacting lives more than you think you are.
Thank you.
So-
Thank you.
Mr. Money TV on Instagram, Suyin Vest
Yeah.
on Instagram. All the details will be in the description down below. And with that, like I always say, don't forget to fall head over heels for yourself first and always. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.
See ya.